Let's now bring in political analyst Khanyi Magubane to further unpack ANC's President Cyril Ramaphosa's speech at the party's celebration during its 113th birthday anniversary. So Khanyi, compliments and welcome to the show. So we are still in full view of all the proceedings there, but we saw the events on the sidelines of the official address and celebrations in Khanyi today. But let's first pick up from the road to these celebrations, the good, the bad, the ugly, from the party really having had to come to terms with because of various issues, from losing elections, as I've alluded to earlier, to the formation of January, to internal squabbles and leadership mired in controversy and legal battles, not to mention the mass exit of some very prominent and key members that left the party.
Absolutely. It's been a very busy week for the ANC in the lead up to today's activities. I was actually watching a clip with your colleague Usamkelo when he was doing a walkabout with the president, and we saw residents of Khanyi lining the streets, excited to see the ANC, excited to see the president, and the president himself was equally excited, and he alluded to the fact that this is where the ANC is moving to greater connection with the lost people of the community, its electorate, its constituents. We know that during election time, the ANC is very good with door-to-door campaigns and being on the ground, but after elections, they've been found wanting. And so as we look at the tone that the president was trying to set, he was definitely trying to set the tone of removing the arms distance that they've had with the community, which he himself today confessed has been one of the major reasons why they lost the elections. He spoke about, the weakened branches, and I felt like a bit of a prophet, because just last night I was chatting to your colleague Mpositole, and I said the inability of branches to meet and correlate and take binding decisions because of a lack of membership, and people just are not interested in being active on the ground. I'm very pleased that the president spoke to this, because it is the truth. Without a constituent, there is no ANC in power. There is no ANC in majority. So I think that was a very important thing for them to do, to set up today's event with all of those door-to-door activities they did throughout the week. And Absolutely. Of course, the golf and the business, dinners and all of that.
Yes, all the fun stuff on the side, Khanyi. Now, the province itself is a very bad history and reminder of how the party has actually fared since back in 2009. And this is, of course, a huge factor that if the party, as per the president says, needs to rebuild. He kept using this term quite a lot. Its branches, as you've just alluded to, and structures, and also fixing local government. But reality, Khanyi, is the party is no longer an independent entity that takes vital and crucial decisions on its own. So quite a lot of hurdles to get through, even if just for a deciding vote in that particular province.
Absolutely. The president used a very interesting term. He called the GNU a strategic decision, where 10 political parties took the decision to co-rule with the ANC. So still very much framing the GNU as an ANC government in partnership with other parties. So not so much an equal partnership. And that, I think, would be very problematic for the other members of the GNU, because I think Helen Zille in the past herself has been very vocal about the fact that it's not the ANC show in the GNU, but that all the partners who signed the memorandum of agreement and understanding are equal partners who have equal say. And this is the very first January 8th statement that the president is delivering, or that the ANC, in fact, is delivering, where it's no longer in a majority. And I think the first thing that the president should have done is to apologize to the constituents, to the members of the ANC, and to those who didn't vote for the ANC, to say we understand why, and then outline the issues and the problems as he did. And so I think the president did allude, though, to the GNU partners that they should enjoy this 5 years because it's the first and last time that the ANC is going to rule with them, because he said next time we are coming back, and we are coming back to rule alone as a majority. Now, it may just be a pipe dream and a wishful thinking on the president's part, because once these other parties have tasted power as they have now, I doubt that they are going to let go of the power very easily.
You know, I like that you mentioned the tone there, Khanyi. A lot of words, you know, the temperament in the way that the president was actually delivering this keynote address. I actually wanted to ask you before the previous question that did you actually get a sense that the president did enough unbiased reflection of all these events and really was honest enough with the people to take them into his confidence and really bear out all the party's challenges, also with effective plans in the pipeline to address these?
Well, you know, I think he tried. He tried to reflect on what has gone wrong. But I think what has, continuously been missing in January 8 statements and was equally missing this year is to tell us who, has actually been held to account. How many people, within the ranks of the ANC are now serving jail terms, have now been convicted, have now been held to account for matters of fraud and corruption and money laundering and all the myriad of issues, himself included, with the Phala issue that has been a thorny side, on his back. And he didn't mention any of that. He keeps talking about the renewal, and he keeps talking about the fact that those who are not towing the renewal line will find themselves outside of the ANC. And those are very marked words. Those are words that, if you unpack them, are very clear. They're attempting to say that this is the Ramaphosa show now, and if you're not getting into information, you will be expired, because the ANC has been, affected by fractures, and those fractures have really, also contributed to the movement and the splinter parties. We spoke about the splinter parties. We may have been referring to the MK, but the MK is not a party per se. It was established, by a few members who don't like ANC or not. But however, he tried to best, address the impact that he has had on the party, and I think he should have. Because not just ANC issues that have caused them, it's also, the formation of the season, also to 58 seats in parliament, many of which used to be seats. And that's a big thing that I think he needed to speak to. How are they going to get back this power that he says they want to?
Absolutely, Khanyi. I mean, what will then, do you think, will it take for the party to regain its ground as well as political footprint, particularly in that province? We know not far is, of course, the Eastern Cape, which the party is still a majority, yet the plight of those people remains the same, if not worse. And taking into account the upcoming local government elections, can the party cause an upset and claw back some semblance of credibility in being the liberators of poverty and inequality?
It's going to be a difficult task for them, because Puerto Westizo is closely rising in many areas of the country where it doesn't attention of a presence. So the ANC right now is in a position of evolving and to rebrand itself. Imagine what it could be in the future. What it can do well on the victories of the past. The victories of the past have only worked for so long. Now the ANC has to appeal to an electorate. The ANC of today is not the ANC of 1912. That is, affect to face that if you evolve, abandoned. So how does the ANC evolve? Today alluded to the renewal process is a long-term process. He spoke about the strengthening in terms of reference of the integrity of poverty. He spoke about the fact that the applicants have already been expelled because of the strengthening of the executive committee. So the evolving of the ANC, well, we can't just have January 8 statements year in, year out that say wonderful things but achieve nothing after 12 months. And we find that the president is coming back to the same points. It's getting tired, unless there's real practical change on the ground. The ANC is going to find itself in exactly the same position come local government.
If you can please just maintain that current position as your network and audio is much, much better. Look, if I'm an unemployed youth, parent or guardian with no skills or means to better my situation, when a leader comes and speaks about bold plans or interventions to alleviate some of these challenges without giving us actual details on how these interventions will actually then be effected and also give an outline of the expected timeframes as well, then it becomes simply a speech with no plan of action.
Firstly, my apologies. It's raining very heavily where I am right now, so that may affect the network. But coming to your question, the ANC in the past has been very good at putting together policies that have been lauded across the world, our constitution, the Freedom Charter, the many laws that we are enjoying in this country, of gender equality, of youth rights, of women's rights. All of these things in paper work very well.
Mm-hmm. And I mean,
as they work very well in paper.
Yes, go ahead, Khanyi. And the NDP there, I mean, I heard him make mention and reference to reviving some of the principles of the National Development Plan in his speech.
The National Development Plan has a 2030 goal, which I think is coinciding with the SDGs set by the UN, which South Africa is a co-signatory to, which it also has a responsibility to see coming to fruition. However, the problem is that the communication and the messaging around the NDP has all about died. It's very quiet. The ordinary man of the street today, if you were to take some of your colleagues there and move them out of the stadium to just take a walk around Cape Town and normally ask people, what is the NDP? What does it stand for? What are its strategic goals and how does it benefit South Africans? I doubt many South Africans are conversant with that. So as he continues to mention the NDP several times as he has, the messaging around it needs to get back to South Africans. We need to know how does it benefit us. It is the responsibility of the presidency to implement the NDP. However, if we don't know what it is and how it benefits us, as an analyst, I may have the information because I work in the field of information. However, an ordinary man on the street also needs to be brought along. And that's where I think the ANC also needs to focus, bring people along. Demystify terms, let people know what is government, how does it work, what are your rights, what are you entitled to. We need civic education, not just political education. We need civic education that teaches people about their rights.
Mm-hmm. And a very quick one, just in closing, Khanyi. Maybe, I mean, we saw the alliance partners there giving their message, and a lot of expectation and suspicion was that they might not even be in attendance due to some of the developments that we've seen in the recent months. So do you think, as you've just said, were they inspiring in bringing the people along together on their vision?
Well, I think there's a lot of work to be done to repair the relationship of the tripartite alliance, especially in the province of Cape Town, where we've seen the alliance partners last year at any time putting together statements, hosting media briefings to just voice their grievance. The ANC has been a very bad partner to them. And his provincial leadership has not done right by them. We even saw them saying that Sanko is going to be leaving, prior to SABC will be leaving the tripartite alliance in the province. And I think the ANC, the mother body at national, needs to also ensure that it's strengthening the tripartite alliance, not only at a national level, but at a provincial level too. Dr. Mantashe is said to have remarked that if the SACP, for instance, goes at it alone, they'll be very surprised to realize that the ANC needs them.
Khanyi, thank you so much for your contributions this afternoon. That is Khanyi Magubane there. She's a political analyst, also weighing in on the ANC's 113th birthday celebrations. And we were particularly focusing on party president Cyril Ramaphosa's speech that he just delivered a short while ago. And as you have seen on our insert and screen there, a lot of activity still touted to continue throughout today as the ANC continues to celebrate 113 years of existence, though without any challenges, but they are still a movement.